welcome back to SA Sports Show. I'm Greg Annis and my co-host Barry Curtin.
Greg.
Barry, I've done a little bit of research. You're a very good cricketer in your day. I think you played well over 40 first-class state games for South Australia.
Long time ago.
Quite a few centuries as well, which was
Done a couple,
fantastic.
yeah, I was happy.
You do talk a big story though, I must admit that. Over the years, I've heard lots of your fantastic stories about you being, probably one of the best cricketers, of your own words, from South Australia.
Wow.
But I have got a special guest that might just balance the ledger a little bit. Hendricks, welcome, former state cricketer as well, and you played very much alongside of Barry many times. You got some home truths?
You did.
Yeah, great, Greg. And first of all, Barry,
Mate.
he handles the truth carelessly most of the time, pal. Yeah. And he had a good reputation of that, and we all went along for the ride. But he's a great bloke, good cricketer.
Yeah.
Particularly in his own lunchtime.
Oh, so I am right there, Mike.
Exactly right. We had a lot of fun.
As we had last Friday.
We caught
So,
up, yeah.
what about, playing for South Australia, wicket keeper, your local club, and probably your transition into state cricket. We all know your name and what you've done at the sort of the top end. Yeah. How did it all come about? How'd you come to say cricket's my game?
Well, I grew up in Wollongong in New South Wales, and had a twin brother who was a few hours older than me, but we grew up playing soccer and cricket. Our father was a good rugby league player. He was involved in the rugby league club down there, but the suburb we lived in was very much a soccer orientated place. So that's how we got started, and then we used to go down to the local park and watch the boys play cricket, and our cousin was the captain of the local under-14 team, and they were short. We were about 8, and we both started playing, and that's when it all started. And we played, I was playing A grade when I was 14 to 15, and represented the Illawarra, which is a big area. Wollongong's in those days had about 150,000 people as a country region, the Illawarra region, and through selection processes, the local associations, there was four associations in the Illawarra Council, which comprised Bowral, up where the Bradman
territory,
Nowra, Kiama, different names, and the Wollongong region, and then they had a combined side which played a 2-day game against Newcastle and a 2-day game against Canberra each year, one at home, one away. And at each of those games, state selectors were there, 2 state selectors, and that's the country process in New South Wales. And that went all the regions around New South Wales, similar things happen, excuse me. And of course, that's why there's been a lot of blokes, cricketers from country New South Wales, living in the country and played for New South Wales. And I was fortunate to be selected as Brian Taber's replacement when the Australian team went to India and South Africa in 1969-70 with Barry's, if I add that up, that's 49 years ago. 50 next year, the end of this year, which is a long time ago.
That's pretty quick too.
It's frightening. Yeah. And I replaced Tabsy in the side, who also grew up in Wollongong, but he went to Sydney and played A grade when he was about 16, and fortunately I had a very good season, and then I wouldn't have played there anymore because Tabsy could have came back and taken over, because all the players on that tour had to be replaced in their state sides, and I was quietly asked whether I'd like to come to South Australia and have a game.
Fantastic.
So I eventually came, no offer of a job, no offer of money, just a chance to play Shield cricket, and that's where it all started. And I came to South Australia in 1970, arrived in September, and haven't gone back.
And walked into a really good side. You walked into a really good South Australian side back then. I think I was in the army at that stage.
I hadn't met
keeping them off our shores while you were out there enjoying your cricket, which is terrific. But I remember the batting lineup. You got a pretty good memory here, Jimmy. The batting lineup for SA at that time?
Yeah, I played the last game of that year because I played for New South Wales the year before. I had to sit out 3 months qualification when I came over, and I never arrived till September for other reasons. But so I was ineligible to play, so I got in for the last game of the year, and that was vital because in those days there was no finals. It was first past the post, and South Australia were playing New South Wales on Adelaide Oval. And whoever won that game won the Shield.
Yeah.
And Had a great start behind the stumps. Alan Turner was my roommate in New South Wales the year before.
Fitter and Turner, yeah.
Caught him first ball off Jeff Hammond off the first ball of the inning. So that was a great start.
Well, that's a good start.
But the batting lineup for South Australia, it was arguably one of the best sides the state's ever had. And it started off Ashley Woodcock, played for Australia. Barry Richards, one of the greatest of all time.
Of course, yes.
Ian and Greg Chappell.
Right.
KG never played for Australia but should have.
Yeah.
Great player.
Ken Cunningham.
Terrific player.
John Corsby, who was a very, very good player.
Yeah.
And opened the batting normally,
Yeah.
but he went down to number 6 when Richards came into the side. Then, of course, Fritzy Freeman, the great Port
Yes,
Adelaide
yeah.
footballer and cricketer, and Ashley Mallett, Terry Jenner, myself, and Jeff Hammond. That was the team.
Wow.
Oh.
They're household
And
names.
there was only, and Kevin McCarthy was 12th man. So there was Corsby, Hendricks.
Another very good cricketer.
Yeah, Corsby, Hendricks, Freeman, Cunningham, and McCarthy were the only ones that never played Test cricket.
Wow.
So that was a great
good
side.
setup.
And all could
Yeah.
have. Because you're a terrific keeper. When I first came into the side, and one of the great things I noticed, well, one of the things I always look for and notice are the keepers. And you were a terrific keeper. I only ever saw you make one error.
Yeah.
One error.
Yeah, the whole world saw that one.
Well, the whole world saw it. The whole world saw it. It was misstumping Greg.
Greg Chappell.
Greg
playing for
Chappell when
Queensland.
Greg was playing for Queensland. And that was the only mistake that I ever saw you make behind the stumps. And you know, it was
All those years ago, can you actually still remember this
I
particular
remember
incident?
it.
Mate,
Is that right?
I'll be remembering 10 years after I'm dead.
Is that right?
No, Terry Jenner was bowling
Yeah.
to him, and of course Greg had just gone to Queensland. He'd been there, I think this might have been his first or second year up there. And TJ was throwing all his arsenal at him, you know, toppies, heavies, leggies, wrong'uns and all that sort of stuff, his variety. And he had a variety of different wrong'uns and toppies. And he was keen to get Greg out because he was a chance of playing in a test. And Greg was dead set keen he wasn't going to get him out. And Greg was dead set keen to get 100. And when he was 8, I can remember that,
Yeah. Okay.
down the track he went. I knocked the bails off. He was 3 feet out.
Yeah.
But unfortunately the ball hadn't arrived.
Oh,
And the bails went off, the ball
Right.
hadn't arrived,
bit quick.
a bit quick, and it cost me a match. They dropped me to go to Perth.
They
after
did.
that.
They did. Which
And I've been
I
keeping quite well, but that's the way it goes.
which I found amazing. I found amazing that they would drop you after one error that in whatever how many games didn't matter.
But it was a pretty violent. Oh, I must tell the story. Greg was 158 not out when he was
Yes.
closed.
Wow, okay.
So that was
And I wanted him dropped as well.
I can imagine.
wanted Jimmy dropped as well because I was fielding at mid-off. I remember this game so well. And Greg actually hit a off drive past me to my right hand side. Now Adelaide Oval is a long boundary straight.
Yeah.
So I turned around to go after it and caught it just inside the fence, and they ran 4. Back I come to mid-off. Next ball, bang, he's hit one just to my left-hand side.
Yeah.
Same result, I've got to go again. So I'm running down to the boundary line saying, drop Hendricks. Get rid of Hendricks, drop. I wasn't doing that at all.
But you tell everybody you're a great sprinter, and we just want to see how good
Well,
you
yeah,
sprint.
exactly. Yeah, I was
yeah.
a terrific sprinter. I never spent too much time away from very close around the back. While I've got you, mate, something happened during the week that has pricked the ears of a lot of cricketers. It was the man cat from Ravi Ashwin
Yep.
on Josh Butler,
Yep.
the English batsman,
Yep.
which has really now gone viral on social media
Yep.
and whatever. When I first saw it, I thought, wow. Lucky it wasn't me because he'd be wearing a grey Nichols across the back of the head if it was me. And there's been varying opinions. What really struck me was there's been a couple of cricketers that have actually come out and supported it.
Yep.
Now, I don't know why they would be supporting something like that because it wasn't a blatant cheating move as far as I saw. He wasn't halfway down the track. He was only just doing the right thing, and bang, no warning, boom, off you go.
Yeah.
Does this affect Ravi's reputation?
Oh, obviously it will to a lot of people, but yeah, my thoughts on it, I'm a little bit both ways, in the sense that it's in the rules of the game.
It is in the rules, yeah.
If a batsman was to leave the crease early, and a lot of them do these days,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're a metre down the wicket, and he's a quick single, and he makes, and there's an appeal for run out, and they go upstairs, and he gets in by half an inch, and he's had a metre start. I reckon that's cheating. So that's my thought.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the fact that this guy really wasn't doing that, he was just walking out, and he was only 6 inches out.
Yeah.
And to my mind, the bowler stopped and then turned around and took the bars up. And I thought it had to be in the action of actually delivering the ball.
Yeah.
To try.
Yeah.
So that's where I said, that's
the
my
old
point
rules
of
of the
view.
game. It's
It's
always a
like
little
when you
bit
get picked up
confusing.
for speeding, Greg.
Yeah.
If you're speeding, you're speeding.
Yeah, that's it.
The rules are the rules.
Yeah.
But the ethical thing is you warn the bloke.
That's another part. Yeah.
Listen, mate, if you do that again, I'll knock the
You'll
bars
knock the
off.
bars off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
But
ethical
you know,
thing.
my thought on that is I would give the guy a warning, but I would still never knock the bars off. Unless he was halfway down the track.
No, you'd have
Then I
to.
would think about it. But, you know, to me it just doesn't sit
I
right.
reckon you would have.
You'd have to be a brave man to do it, wouldn't you?
I think you've got to be a brave man to do it, but the way he did it, and like you said, he was this far out.
Yeah.
And all he was doing was following the
But
rules of the game. As the bowler delivers the ball, you can go. And, you know, he's this far out.
Okay.
but rule one when you're a kid learning the game,
Is you
when you walk with the bat behind you and you watch the bowler's hand until he leaves. Delivers
That's-
the ball.
that's a
The
good
little
point.
cricket I ever played, that was the one rule I always
that's a fair
remember.
point.
Yeah,
That's a
so it's a
fair
good point.
point.
Yeah. Mike, thanks very much for coming in and
Absolutely.
sharing your stories. It's
Well, I'm not happy we
fantastic.
got him in now. I wanted him to back me on the radio. But
Not too many people going to back you, Barry.
I don't like blokes making sense. That's what he's just done. Good to see you, mate.
That's-
One of-
Thank
and
you.
some of those
Thank you,
teams
Greg.
you played, just absolutely just part of
great.
household names, you
Yeah.
know, and a real fantastic South Australian.
Yeah.
Mike, thanks very much.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Barry.
Back
Right,
soon.
mate.